one of the places where my passion is where human development work, whatever you want to call it, the leadership circle is one access to that, vertical conversation, some pattern, some place where patterns meet the mystery, the embodied healing work that allows us to access the future in this extraordinary, and our energies and full capacities in this extraordinary way by actually meeting what's here and doing this work in the mystery of the natural world feels like where my heart and where my passion is. And I think it's with individuals, it's with teams. I can enter, and I would also even bring in people's practical concerns about their life, their leadership, their business problems. It's like you can start anywhere. And then there's a kind of relationship that happens where something extraordinary happens. And I think there's something about this time that we're living in that frames all of it. When we can meet each other, when I can be met, or I could meet another human being in their and feel their joy beneath the description of it, but the actual feeling of joy, or the feeling of suffering, the feeling of sadness, the feeling of fear. Something happens between our nervous systems where there's a relaxation, there's an opening in the body, there's an energy that gets released, a feeling of gratitude, and then all of a sudden there's clarity and there's access to our full capacities. And so that I've witnessed and have been held in that over and over and over. And it's remarkable because it's not about making anything up. It's about being in tune with another and what's here, and then accurately naming what's here. When that's done, something extraordinary happens. And so yesterday I was working with this group, and I noticed right as we were starting, I looked out at the flat prayer flags outside my house, and the wind had shifted. And I said, let's, there's I heard this many, many years ago, that Dick Gregory, the comedian, used to say that when firefighters, the way they prayed, the way they accessed the miraculous was to pray for a shift in the wind. Like we won't put this fire out unless there's a shift in the wind. And so I invited us to bring in what we were dedicating a shift, where were we praying for a shift in the wind in our life, in our country, in our region, people in our life. And it created a context for the work that we did yesterday that was extraordinary. And just the ridiculous part of this was right before we started the meeting, I put my patio furniture out because it was summer. It was like, now it's spring and it's beautiful out. And by the time people finished checking in, it was lightning and thunder and pouring rain. So that's kind of two examples.
That's awesome. The other question would be, bouncing off, the first piece you spoke, is in the context of that, how is the work that you're doing both like a response to the both catalyzed by the times and a response to?
This question is like a fresh question for me all the time, and it changes, and the answer changes. And And I noticed that when the same principle that I was describing before, when I let myself feel my own heartbrokenness for what we're losing, it gets my attention, and usually where it takes me into is seeing beauty and seeing in a way beauty is both an antidote for the despair for me, and it's also what one of the key core things that motivates me to want to both enjoy and be present for life, for this life, for the beauty of this life, the poignancy of it, and offer what I can offer. That's useful. That's helpful. That's an expression of what I can bring. So that's my answer today.